Hi, my name's Laura, and I'm going to be doing a persuasive speech today. Okay, here's my audience. It's my parents and my sister. Okay. Focus. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Okay. Imagine being held prisoner in a dirty, hard, cold cell. And imagine never being able to see the sun or feel what fresh air feels like. Imagine being experimented on by chemicals and mystery substances that make you burn, blister, and even go brain dead. Doesn't sound like very much fun. And some animals live their lives this way forever. They are the victims of animal testing. Every time you reach for a stick of chapstick, makeup, or cosmetics, I can guarantee you almost never think about how these products were deemed safe for humans. It's easy to forget about our furry friends and our labs. I chose this topic because I was looking on a shampoo bottle and it had a little symbol of a rabbit on it, and that means that this specific brand does not test for animals. And it got me thinking about what kinds of companies test on animals and what that means. I also have two other reasons that I'll share with you later. Okay, so first we're going to talk about what animal testing is. This is a quote, the practice of performing operations on live animals for the purpose of experimentation of scientific research. So it's pretty much just testing on animals to make sure that when the product does go to humans, there aren't any serious side effects or adverse effects. In the US, there aren't very many regulations on animal testing, but manufacturers are definitely persuaded to do whatever testing is necessary to make sure that the product is safe and able to use correctly. And this means that they test for efficiency, safety, and liability of products with animals. And here's another number for you. In 2014, the number of animals used in research was 843,453. That's a really high number. However, it does not include rats, mice, or birds in there. So it's a lot higher than that. So now that we talked about what it is, we have to consider what kind of tests are done. There are two big groups of tests. There's short-term and then long-term tests. I'll talk about short-term first. So one test is called the LD50 or lethal dose 50, and it's where you take a group of animals and you give them a dose, and the goal is for 50% of the population to die. So scientists do this over and over and over again until 50% dies. And so, yep, many animals can be tested, used again and again until the scientists get this result. Another test is an irritation test, and this is like skin and eyes. It's pretty much what it sounds like. The researchers drop chemicals onto the animal's eyeballs or on some shaved skin, and they measure swelling, irritation, burns, ulcerations, and lots of other things. And this can cause the animals to lose lots of blood. They can go blind, obviously, and they can definitely die if they get too much of these chemicals. And then for long-term tests, they do testing for like cognitive and behavioral stuff, and that's pretty complicated, but they do stuff on like maternal attachment, drug addiction, and they do research on animals for like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. Because they alter your emotions a little bit, so they use animals for that. But mostly long-term testing is for drug toxicity. So they use the animals and they want to find out the long-term use of the drug and what happens when it builds up in the body and how it can damage you or benefit you. Rats and dogs are mostly used for this. and the study can be 1 to 3 months long, longer or shorter, whatever the scientists need. And they give the animals the doses prescribed, whether that's 2 times a day, 1 time a day, whatever, for the whole testing period. And when the time is over, they kill the animals and then they dissect them to look at long-term damage on like kidneys, liver, other organs, and metabolize drugs. Okay, so now we've talked about how horrible animal testing is. Now we can consider how we can stop it. So the first thing is you can volunteer at like animal shelters or any place that doesn't is against animal cruelty to keep them running so that the other places don't get animals from them. The second thing is, this is obvious, but you can donate to any of those places. Any society, organization will take donations. And some of them even have like fun little shops online where you can buy like t-shirts or bags and those proceeds benefit to stop animal testing, whatever. Another thing you can do is you can just avoid animal testing products altogether. This is probably the best way to do that. One way to do that is you can make your own makeup or like cleaning supplies. There are lots of tutorials on how to do that anywhere. And you can buy cruelty-free makeup. A few brands that are cruelty-free are Bare Minerals, Method Cleaners, and Kylie Cosmetics. And you can find them, you can Google cruelty-free makeup or cleaners, and a ton of shops come up. So, animal testing is inhumane use of animals to find out the adverse effects of cosmetics, medications, or other household items. There are many different tests that we can use, but all of them are at the expense of the animals. And there are lots of little steps that we can take to help stop this. So, this is a quote from Jeremy Bentham, and the quote is, "The question is not, can they reason, nor can they talk, but can they suffer?" So, I also have 2 more reasons why I chose this topic. And, come on guys. He's coming out. Okay, here's one. These are our gerbils. This is Saturn, and here's Jupiter. Yep, they're my favorites, and we love them very much. Okay, thank you.